Promotion is the target for Oldham as the Championship 1 season nears its conclusion, and pole position in the playoffs will help their cause. For London Scholars, it's pride that's at stake as they look to end a miserable season on a positive note here at Boundary Park. With Dewsbury Rams crowned champions on Sky last week and already promoted, it's between the next 6 clubs as to who'll take the other promotion place. Oldham are third in the table at the moment, just a point behind York with a game in hand, and that second place is the key as there's the chance to go straight through to October's grand final, providing of course you win your playoff tie. It's been a tough season for London Scholars at the very bottom of the table with just 1 win and 1 bonus point, and all their points coincidentally have come against Workington, the second bottom club. Scholars have scored just 164 points so far this season. They've conceded 767. Well, Oldham are unchanged from the side that beat Rochdale 48-28 at the weekend, with Matty Ash and Jamie Russo making their second appearances for the club. O'Connor is at full-back, Lucas Onyango, Craig Littler, Jamie Russo, Lee Greenwood, Matt Ash and Neil Roden, who's the captain of the side. In the forwards, Wayne Kerr, Martin Roden, Jason Bolts, Chris Baines, Tommy Golden and Phil Joseph at loose forward. And on the bench, Thomas Coyle, Jamie Ianson, Craig Robinson and Luke Menzies. The coach, formerly in charge of the London Scholars, Tony Benson. The Scholars are under an acting coach at the moment in Jermaine Coleman because Callum Irving resigned from the job in June. They have Corey Sims at fullback, Ollie Fountain, Matt Thomas, John Paxton, Olu Iwanafu, Chad Isles and Paul Thorman, who captains the side. In the forwards, it's Tony Williams, Gareth Honor, Cedric Prison, Oliver Bloom, Chris Hodson and Lee Nissen. And on the bench, Graham Spencer, Danny Burke, Andre Vine and Jamel Coleman. And the coach is Jermaine Coleman. Well, they've come up with a novel idea for this evening's match at Oldham. Some might say a hair-raising idea because in an effort to raise funds for local charities, they've donned pink. The players have all got pink hair. The fans have got pink accoutrements, shall we say, and it's all to help Royal Oldham Hospital Breast Care Unit and Dr. Kershaw's Hospice. Even the Chief Executive, Chris Hamilton, has his hair tinted pink. He is also, to my knowledge, the first president of the Rugby Football League to have pink hair, unless that is there's somebody who's got a very well-kept secret further back in the mists of time. There is Chris Hamilton, just, of course, elected president of the Rugby Football League, and the supporters showing their support. They've been admitted free tonight, but they will have to make a donation to leave the ground. Oldham hoping that they're not all heading for the exits at half-time. Certainly on current form they shouldn't be. They've beaten the London Scholars already this season, 78 points to 10, but of course Oldham have had their fair share of upheaval in the last few weeks, with Bill Quinn scaling down his involvement with the club. 5 players heading off to join the Barrow Raiders under their new coach Steve Deakin. So Oldham have had their problems, but nothing compared with those of London Scholars. There's Paul Thorman, combines captaining the side with community manager. He's been helping out behind the scenes as well. And of course a Thorman in every division in the professional structure in the game in this country. And it has been a tough season for the Scholars. But Oldham have promotion still in their sights. Okay, Dewsbury might have taken the automatic spot, but there is that other promotion place to be played for via the playoffs coming up at the end of the season. And Oldham now looking to regroup and get into pole position for that challenge. York and the Keighley Cougars, of course, their main challengers for that second place spot. And Oldham, after losing a couple of games, back to winning ways last weekend against Rochdale, firmly fancied to carry on that form here tonight. Can they do that? Well, we'll find out with our commentary team. Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott, first of all, Ben Pro.
Greg Dolan is the man in charge tonight, and with 4 matches left in the Cooperative Championship 1, we've seen pink everywhere. Well, Oldham will be in the pink if they can see second place tonight in the race to take that pole position in the playoffs. The Ruffians thrashed London Scholars 78-10 at New River Stadium back in May, but the visitors make their TV debut tonight, buoyed by that first bonus point of the season against Workington on Sunday. It's them, the Scholars, in possession First up, huge task facing the visitors as Wayne Kerr muscles in there. Really, safety first, coming up from the Scholars. Lee Nissen gets the ball away.
And that's all they've got to do, Ben. They've just got to complete the set to 6, have a real good kick chase down the other end of the park, and try and control the speed of which Oldham play the ball.
Jermaine Coleman, in your shot a moment ago, well, a former scholar and a former teacher, so 2 senses of the scholar there for the London coach.
Paul Foreman putting a bit too much weight on that kick, but they've got him in a good part of the field now. This is where they've really got to test themselves and defend. They've got to be really condensed and slow up the first 3 players that Oldham throw at them.
Onyango with the first hit-up is there. Tony Benson, former Scholars coach last year, of course, watching on. That was Roden, Martin Roden, formerly the club's conditioner.
That's a good, powerful shot from London Scholars. They know they need to be big and strong in the middle. They're very powerful, Oldham. Kerr, Bolts, Goulden, Baines, Joseph, all very powerful players. There was good impact and the ball was dislodged. Baines won't be happy with that.
We're all there, guys. Let's go. Heads in.
Was there an arm in?
Hold. Where did it fall?
I think Paul Foreman there, the captain for the Scholars, got his arm in there. But they've got the ball back now and they're attacking in Oldham's field position. Let's see what they can do.
Go.
Fountain played the ball. Isles got it away. There's 3 in the tackle though for Oldham.
Move. Hold.
Brings Prison to the ground. Good position this though for London Scholars. And Hodgson has it. The tackle's in the bank as well.
And they look big and strong, and they're just taking the direct route, going as straight and as hard as they can off that ruck. They've got good field position set out on the left-hand side here.
Working in the middle of the field. Looping pass over the top. That's Bloom. Last one coming up. They're just 5 metres away, London Scholars, using that short side. What's the Oldham defence like? It's not the best pass.
I think an Oldham player touched that.
Hand over on 10, fellas. Hand over on 10.
No, I think Matt Thomas actually, Foreman throws the pass. Matt Thomas was in 2 minds. He put his hand to that ball, knocks on. Oldham have got the ball now, bringing it out of their own territory.
Hold. Go.
Martin Roden moves in again. That's Bolts.
2, move. Go.
And realistically, for this Scholar side, it's about an 80-minute performance. They've started really strong this first 3 minutes, but they've got to concentrate. That's the biggest thing, and they can't. Although that's a mistake from the Oldham side, but if they come out of the line like that, you've got to make sure you wrap the ball up.
Isles was the first to respond, and London Scholars with a great chance to counter now. They've got the ball in a dangerous area of the field.
Here you can see, just had a little look up, saw what was in front of him, and Paxton just put him off there. But again, real good field position from this Scholars side.
Honour made his 150th appearance against Workington last weekend, Gareth Honour. Here he is again, moving the ball to that left-hand side. What can they produce here? Thorman has it, the danger man for this Scholars side. Grounded well by Kerr, but it's a quick play of the ball. Can they get over here? London Scholars, it's the first try for the visitors. Honour has it. Well, the man so experienced in this London Scholars side has pleased his coach there, Jermaine Coleman. And Honour has silenced Boundary Park here. First try goes the way of London Scholars. It's only Gareth Honour's 2nd try of the season. The only person to play every season in this Scholars outfit since 2003. And he's got the visitors on the board.
Here's the mistake from Oldham there. They're putting themselves under a bit of pressure, but that's the enthusiasm at which the Scholars are playing this. You can see that Honour just steps off his left foot, gets in for that try, but Thorman with the build-up play. They're looking around and they've got players in support. Oldham are a bit disjointed there defending, but credit this Scholars side the way they've started this game.
Paul Thorman, 30 goals already this year. Looking to improve that try. Picture of concentration, slots the ball between the uprights, and so London Scholars lead by 6 points to 0.
Gareth Honour does really well to recognise that Wayne Kerr, the man at the side of the player ball, just could not get back to be the marker. He's on his knees there. There's one of the big lessons in rugby league. If you can and you can get up, just be an obstacle in front of somebody. If Wayne Kerr gets up and he's a body in the way, then London Skolars don't score that try.
Restart goes out on the full as well, so London Skolars with the penalty on halfway. Oldham are rattled.
And again, Ben, another mistake leading to that field position, and that's what the Skolars want. And all they're doing is completing the set to 6, and it looks a real confident start from the Skolars.
Sims played the ball. Honor finds Williams. Williams just trundles the ball down the middle of the field. Safety first. Does not look happy, Tony Benson. This is Nissen and Hodgson. Big London Skolars possession in this first 4 minutes or so in play. Honor. Thorman shifting the ball to that left-hand side, and Bloom is dangerous. Had a runner as well. It was an important tackle that from Oldham.
It's try time if he tips that ball on there. Is Oldham's goal line defence good enough?
Not finished yet, that's Fountain. Just a couple of metres short. Last one coming up for London Skolars. It's a sensational start, but the ball goes into touch. Last tackle play. Not the accuracy required from Skolars there.
No, just a bit carried away there. I think Matt Thomas wasn't on his guard there. He wasn't expecting that ball. But they've got him in real good field position. They've got him trapped down in their own 20. And they've got to bring it out. When you've got to carry it from in the quarter, you can see how tight, how dominant the London Skolars are. When they're hitting, they're sticking, and they really seem to be dominating that ruck.
Oldham just need to get out of their own half here, but the markers aren't square, and so they've got a penalty which will help them do that. Awarded by the referee, Greg Dolan.
That's the mistake that Oldham were looking for. They're looking to play with speed. They're using O'Connor, Onyango and Greenwood on those early plays. A great kick. They're in good position now, Oldham. They've got some position and possession.
A raking kick sets up a great opportunity for the Ruffians here. Bolts has it. Centre field. That's Martin Roden. Ash. It's the tackle himself from Bloom.
He's hurt himself, Matty Ash. He hasn't moved.
Well, he suffered a shoulder injury, Matt Ash, against Rochdale. It looks like that possibly is the problem again.
Just how does it happen? Let's watch the replay. Or does he just get a knee in the back of the head? Certainly it's his neck where the problem is. Just watch that right knee. Yeah, I think it's Oliver Bloom who just clips him on the back of the head.
Matt Ash, former junior Kiwi. They do have Thomas Coyle on the bench tonight, Oldham. And speaking to Tony Benson in the week, he wasn't sure whether Matt Ash would be fit to take his part in this game.
If Thomas Coyle comes onto the pitch, now we're going to see Pink Her. We've seen just a few hints, just a few blemishes. Now there you go. That's Pink.
Thomas Coyle itching to get involved. He won't, of course, want to get involved in these circumstances.
No, the main concern for Tony Benson and for Thomas Coyle is that Matt Ash is okay. And he's up. There you go. They breed them tough, these rugby players. Little rub of the head. He's fine. Let's get on with it.
Ash plays the ball, and Martin Roden finds his cousin Neil. Here is Bolts. Williams in with a good tackle there for Skolars, alongside Bloom. There's some interference there, though, and Oldham with back-to-back penalties. The pressure is building.
They wanted to get on quick with it, Oldham. They know that the pace of this game will help them and hinder Skolars.
This is Joseph, turns the ball back intelligently, but there was a reception committee there, headed by Paxton.
Move! Hold! Go!
Joseph. That was Goulden.
Move! Go!
Martin Roden in again quickly for Joseph, and Joseph sees some space to that line. He's strong as well, Phil Joseph. Just dragged back into the field of play, but the ball's come free, and Martin Roden, I think it is, who
he took
touches
that out of
the ball down.
He takes it out of the hands of Phil Joseph, nicks it off him. Phil Joseph, for all money, thinks, I'll get over the line, try me luck to get the ball down. What does Roden do? Give me the ball, I'm having it. Does he get it down? That's a try.
It's a bit like rugby union, it's like a rolling maul. But good play, just look at the strength of Joseph. There's no way in the world he is going to go down. Look at him, you can see him offering the ball to Roden. Roden sees that, he gets the ball off him. He makes sure he's got a good grip of it, he turns, he spins. He knows where that try line is and he gets the ball down. I'm with you, Baz, I think this is a try.
The try awarded to Martin Roden, formerly the club conditioner. Well, he capped only his second appearance in 2 years with a try against Rochdale on Sunday. And now it's 2 in 2 games.
It's all about second effort in rugby league. You've got to be big, you've got to be strong, you've got to keep pumping those legs and never say die attitude, and Joseph had that. Roden was on hand, Joseph slipped the ball away, Roden gets it, but it was all set up by that guy Joseph. Look at him, he steps off his left, he pumps out a one tackle, he's trying to go down, get the try himself, he knows that he can't do it, and Roden pops up at the right place at the right time to score the try for Oldham.
Martin Roden then 2 tries this year, played under Tony Benson at Lee as well. And now Matt Ash, fully recovered from that injury it seems, looking to add to his 4 goals this season. He's missed it though, so London Skolars still ahead, but just by 2 points now, 6 points to 4.
Oldham Skolars have started this game really strong. What they need to be conscious of is the size and the power of the Oldham side. They seem content to be going for those spot players. They're looking for Gareth Honor. Paul Thorman, the captain, expect him to get a lot of work tonight. Throwing the big men at him, making him do a lot more defensive work so his energy is less when he gets the ball.
Do you not think though, Barry, Oldham got 2 penalties there off the Skolars. Do you not think Jermaine Coleman, the coach, will be sending out a message? If you give the penalties away, you've got to be willing to defend.
I think he will. I think he'll ask them to respect possession, and when they've got possession, try and get to a kick and pin Oldham down in this part of the pitch.
Great run from Joseph again, gets Oldham on the front foot. Baines has it now. 1 or 2 signs that they've been stung into action by that London Skolars start here, Oldham.
Move, hold, go.
This is Bolts. Bolts trying to get away from the first man.
And they've got to really control the weight, the speed of the play the ball. That is the thing that will kill this Skolars side.
Neil Roden gets the kick away, but that's good positioning by Sims. Stumbles a moment before the tackle, and there's a real reception committee there. 4 initially in the tackle. Good work from Neil Roden downstairs. Sims plays it. Still there in the shape of Golden on Iwanafu.
Move, hold, go.
Honor gets the ball away again.
3, move, hold, go. 16, stay out, mate.
And then decides to go himself here, Gareth Honor. Good play there.
That was good play. He knew that Wayne Kerr was offside. The referee called him and Honor ran at him.
Go.
Hodson with the latest hit up. And Paxton now.
5, move, go.
Last one coming up for London Skolars in a good position though, and Isles hoists a huge kick. This will test Onyango, and he's done really well. Lucas Onyango gallops away from the first tackle as well, but will he go into touch? And the very first tackle, will Tony Benson, who initially will have been pleased with that contribution, will be tearing his hair out there because Lucas Onyango has really put the Ruffians under pressure here.
Lucas Onyango done all the hard work catching that ball. He done really, really well. He tried to back his speed. You can see him under all kinds of pressure. He steps around a couple of players. He tries to go on the outside again, but with 3-4 players from the Skolars team turning up and pushing him into touch, this is a sign of a confident winger. When you go on the outside and there's not much room to move in, but he thought he had the speed, but nope, the Skolars really stood firm in defence there.
Well, 12 years ago, London Skolars were playing in the Southern Conference and Oldham were in the Super League. Skolars lead the Ruffians at the moment here. looking to get a second try in this game. Honor, so close to the line there, gets the ball away to Prison.
That was a good shot by Wayne Kerr there.
Honor lively again, Isles. Misfield really from Thorman. Sims picks up the pieces. Retain possession, that's crucial. Isles works to the left-hand side again, and Thorman just drifts a kick over the top. Bounces, almost bounced very well for, I think it was Sims. Fountain, I should say.
First knock on London.
Really unlucky. Every time they come up with an attacking play, they go to their left side where Fountain is and where Matt Thomas is. Matt Thomas is the real go-to player, but again, you see him, they're testing all the time. They're looking for a way to score. Oliver Fountain there in your screen. Unfortunate on that occasion not to score that try.
A couple of tries at Workington already this year. Trying to drive Littler back.
Their attitude to defence is very impressive. Just watch how quick they have the line. They're trying to control the Oldham side, trying to slow the play the ball down and play the game at their pace. They realise if Oldham play with pace, then it might be one-way traffic here tonight.
Goulden was trying to inject pace into his play, the ball. Russo carries it on, and Goulden has it back now. Only 19 metres progress made, though, and 4 tackles gone. And then a knock-on from Jason Bolts. They continue to put themselves under pressure.
Wasn't expecting that, the front rower. Just fumbles the ball. You can't afford to do that. I think Roden at the top of your screen, he was the guy expecting the ball. Gooden's catch Baddens though.
Oldham won all 5 meetings between these two since 2007. Thorman, on the very first tackle, just drifts an identical kick into before, and Fountain is the one who's chasing it. Oldham come up with possession in the shape. Littler to knock on though.
That's the 3rd time they've tried that play. Just a little dink just behind Lucas Anyango. They've probably done some video work in the week, realised that he's quite flat in the defensive line. 3 kicks and almost 3 rewards. Just look at it, nice little dink. Everybody's onside. All the scholars know it's coming.
I'm not so sure Lucas Onyango could do anything else there, Barry. I just think that Matt Thomas and Oliver Fountain are the go-to players.
Thomas had it then, and Honor finds Nissen. Just 4 or 5 metres away, as you see, camped under the post, London Scholars. Isles. Hodson is tackled.
See, they've got to keep the cooler, Scholars. Is it on? Oh, there's a couple of punches thrown here. Well, they're not going to lie down, the Scholars. They've come to try and get a victory.
He did.
It was Prison who was on the deck, and he just wanted to get up and carry on.
Jamie Russo who threw the first punch. Bit of pushing, bit of shouting. And then it's on. What will the referee do to defuse this situation? He comes out of the line for the shot. It's judged to be a high tackle, which to be fair it probably was. Bit of pushing, bit of shoving, bang, and then it's on. I'm not sure how many land though. What will the referee do? Will he send a couple to the sin bin for a rest? There's the first one.
Greg Dolan's got the card in his pocket, and Prison is the first one.
28 guys, 28, Oldham. Go as well, mate.
Prison's in the sin bin, and there you go.
Yeah.
There's Russo.
Nope.
Correct decision by the referee. Just have a cool down, settle down, and let's get on with the rugby league.
Cedric Prison, your opponent, I think, Barry, a couple of years ago in that Challenge Cup semi-final with Leeds, when he was playing for Toulouse.
Toulouse, yes.
I can actually remember him running over Barry.
Go!
I can as well.
Scholars not finished yet. Thorman back on the inside. That was Bloom. Gets London Scholars to within a couple of metres again. This is great pressure. Honor tries to go himself, but it's an Oldham wall that prevents him. Led by Martin Roden. Thorman, Isles. Just delays the pass. It's a great ball over the top as well. And Iwanafu had a chance at the corner. Great work from Greenwood, though. And Greenwood pushes him into touch.
That was very good work from Lee Greenwood. He recovered really well, remarkably well. He went in, he thought that the ball was going to go inside, but he comes up with the tackle and Roden comes over the top and finishes him off. But expansive rugby from this Scholars side. They're not afraid to throw this ball around. And you wouldn't think that they've only scored 20, well, they scored 29 tries going into this game. They've now scored 30, but 164 points. They look a really confident side, and they're not going to lie down for this Oldham side.
Other than Martin Roden's touchdown, it's been all London Scholars in this first 18.5 minutes. Delighted with this start, Jermaine Coleman. Only looking for his second win this season, of course. Oldham in a better position now, though. Neil Roden gets the ball away. Ianson is on. He will lift the Ruffians. Martin Roden. Kick is from Ash down the short side. Well fielded by Fountain. Neil Roden there to greet him, though.
Probably got a lucky bounce there, but again, they brought the ball back. Fountain, he's done a good job there. He's got the ball back to centre field. That means now that the defensive line have got to split, but now the markers aren't square, and again, Oldham give the penalty away. You'd only give penalties away when you're either fatigued or you're under a bit of pressure, and I think at the minute, Oldham are under a bit of pressure.
It's London Scholars who are turning the screw in these early stages, and Ianson there, not square at the play of the ball to give London Scholars this penalty. Great field position now for the visitors. Williams overran the pass. It's Nissen. Solid tackle though from Ianson. Now it's Isles. Turns the ball back for Hodson. Patient build up from London Scholars. This is Paxton. Joseph in there alongside Goulden to bring Paxton to the floor. Honor. Isles and Thorman. Short pass this time. Bloom clings on.
Oh, wrong option. It should have went out the back. They had numbers on the left-hand side.
Last one. Kick from Isles is too deep. So Oldham have a 20-metre restart, and all that pressure dissipates.
The idea was right. The idea was right, and I think he'd pointed over to the right-hand corner and said, I'm going to put one up. Changed his mind, and unfortunately execution was poor by Isles. Giving Oldham the ball back. Some fresh bodies on the field. Ianson has come on. Menzies has come on. Coyle has come on with a pink head.
And the volume lifting around Boundary Park as well. This will give the crowd even more to cheer about. Markers not square this time for London Scholars, and so Oldham have a chance to plant the ball deep into that London Scholars territory now.
And when the ref gives a penalty away for markers not being scored, that's because the sheer force of which and the way that you go into the play of the ball like this and you get up as quick as you can, they can't get back disjointed because the speed at which you play that ball.
Thomas Coyle looking to make an impact immediately.
He's got over there. Thomas Coyle wasn't sure whether he was tackled or not and felt he had the right to put the ball down. The referee disagreed. The tackle was affected. I think the ref's right. The tackle is affected there. Thomas Coyle does not have the right to fall over and plonk the ball down.
So tempting to make that second effort, and that's what Thomas Coyle was guilty of there, and so London Scholars with the penalty. Coyle in defence this time, trying to right the wrong.
Hold, go.
Nissen, short pass, Bloom. Not afraid to go near to that far touchline. Solid run from Sims here. On Yango downstairs.
But again, it's simple plays. When they're bringing the ball out of their own half, they just go straight off the ruck. When they're up in their own opposition's 20, they play expansive rugby.
Great take of the kick from O'Connor, and O'Connor launches the counter. So quick, the forward witness fullback.
Haven't you got to be brave as a fullback when all the numbers are running at you? You've got to focus on that ball. A mistake here.
Menzies has flung the ball back, and London Scholars have possession again. Then they lose it. Going to take the first knock on though.
Well, did Neil Roden jolt this ball out, or did he strip the ball out? Here's the offload by Menzies. I think the referee's saying that he ripped the ball out and he knocked the ball on in the process.
Yeah, Neil Roden,
Scholars get the ball back.
He's gone for the steal, hasn't he? In doing that, he's propelled the ball forward. That's why the Scholars have got possession.
Far tighter than many expected in these early stages, just 2 points the difference. And Paxton in possession for the Scholars. Iwanafu waits. His possession now spins into the tackle of Coyle. Goulden in there as well, and Honor waits. Now Williams, short pass. Good tackle from Ianson. Coming in on Thorman. Have to keep a watch on the captain, Paul Thorman. This is Paxton though, and Paxton flings a ball over the top for Iwanafu. Iwanafu goes into touch a second time. Had an opportunity earlier in the match. It's Roden again who makes the tackle. Assisted Greenwood in the first instance, now it's all his own work.
Skirting with that touchdown, but again defensively Lee Greenwood doing a real good job. Iwanafu tried to get the ball away at the last second there. But again, they're really looking to move around this Oldham side. They're coming up with neat little twos passes now. They're trying to attract one defender. Nice little slip ball to another attacker who's pushing up in support. And that's what's good about this Scholar side, the real honesty that they're supporting each other when they're carrying the ball forward.
And they've had a couple of chances. If you weigh up the chances that they've had on their right side as Oldham spilled the ball again.
Littler with the error. Coming under some pressure. And it's Craig Littler, the latest to surrender possession. And the Scholars have the ball in a great position again.
Now, what do you think, Barry? Do you think that they're putting pressure on themselves because they expected to come here and blow the Scholars away?
It's difficult to say, and things have a tendency to balance themselves out, and the weight of possession with the London Scholars means that they are in a better chance and put themselves in a better opportunities to score points.
18, yellow.
Scholars in a great position then in shape of Williams. Honor turns the ball back for Hodgson, gets through the tackle of Coyle, and Hodgson can build up a head of steam here. Coyle comes back for a second effort, that was important. 5 metres away, Honor gets the ball, flings the ball out for Isles. This now is Sims, and Sims with an option on that left-hand side. It's Fountain, and Fountain cuts back inside. Great tackle from Goulden. Massive hit from Tommy Goulden, clapped on the back for his efforts there. Honor. Ball dumped back again, and they could be in here. Corey Sims in the corner. To knock on though. Another great opportunity for London Scholars.
Let's see how this ball comes out. It's great goal line defence. Onyango's involved in that. Somebody needs to cover the wing. It's Matias who just gets there and dislodges that ball.
One-handed pickup from Coyle.
Here you go.
Great goal line defence from Oldham. They need to be, and all they can't afford to keep giving the ball back to London Scholars.
There was a shot there with Thomas Coyle who went behind the acting halfback. He was looking round, he was pointing up saying, who wants the ball? And they've just got to command the ball a lot more as they tries to go through. Big Menzies trying to lead the way now for this Oldham side.
One of the Oldham substitutes, Menzies, gets his side into a great position. Another difficult handling moment for Goulden. Joseph lost some territory there. Last one on its way for Oldham. Injury for Joseph.
I think he's penalised the London Scholars player for holding down Phil Joseph, holding the back of his leg. I don't know whether that's a hamstring.
The hamstring normally is at the back of your leg.
I don't know whether it's a hamstring injury or something else. You wouldn't know what an hamstring injury is anyway. You weren't quick enough.
What a relieving penalty this is. As far as Oldham are concerned, it was on the very last tackle. Now, can they make the Scholars pay? Roden for Ianson. There's the ball for Coyle. Has an option with Roden, but Coyle examining him himself, gets the ball away, flings it back. And Menzies now. Ball comes free again though.
0.
And Scholars have it back.
And you asked me the question, Tez, a couple of minutes ago, whether I thought the fact that and now they'd give a penalty away, whether I thought the fact that they'd turned up tonight with an attitude of we're going to win anyway.
How many times now we've made a tackle, you've gone back after the mark? All right, no more.
The referee just having a word with Thomas Coyle there. Whether they're focused for this game or whether they're not prepared to do the hard work, keeping hold of possession, just that little push there from Thomas Coyle.
Well, we've featured Oldham a couple of times on Sky this year, and they've lost both matches against Featherstone in the Northern Rail Cup at Lee. They lost that one by 32 points to 18 and lost that thriller at the Huntington Stadium to York City Knights as well. So something to prove in front of the cameras tonight, Oldham, but they're trailing again. Knock on though this time from the Scholars, gives them some respite. Corey Sims it was.
Corey Sims loses the ball, it just goes over his shoulder, but you've got to ask yourself, if you're a coach of Oldham in Tony Benson, we've got to be more composed, because the way that the Scholars are playing, they just try to bully us up the middle of the park, and it's okay being an Oldham player flying out the line looking to dominate in defence, but you've got to make sure you come over that shot and really do keep your discipline.
Tony Benson's watching his former club get the better of things so far here. Coyle drops the ball off for Goulden. Looking to take the lead for the first time in this match. Janssen gets up, still going, pumps the legs. Lays it for Coyle. And that one-handed pick-up, Neil Roden. Ash in a hole. Ash to the right-hand side. Oh, it would have been a great take from Onyango if he managed to collect that ball. As it is, the ball goes into touch, and another opportunity for Oldham goes begging.
And again, a lot of real good movement from this Oldham side. They went through the gap with the ball. Lucas Onyango, one of the fastest men on the pitch, but there's no way he can get to this ball and pull it back in to score the try. But a real big loss. Just saw Phil Joseph limping off the pitch now. That'll be a massive loss if he doesn't come back onto the park.
Rugby union heritage for Onyango with Kenya and also Sale. Thorman in possession initially for the Scholars. Championship action coming up next Thursday on Sky Sports. Barrow against Widnes. Should be a massive clash from the Cooperative Championship. You can see that from 7:30 on Sky Sports 3.
They need a bit more support now. They can't go up as lone soldiers. They've got to go up supporting each other. Try and take some pressure off. See that now Scholars lose the ball and Oldham now on the attack.
Widnes looking to book their place in the grand final of the Championship. This is all about the grand final of the Championship 1, and Oldham looking to take pole position going into the playoffs.
I think there was a ball in there. I think Jamie Rousseau had his hand to that ball then. Nevertheless, Oldham get the ball back. Can they respect possession enough?
It's another gilt-edged opportunity for the Ruffians, and Janssen rampaging through the centre of that Scholars defence again. Coyle. That's Neil Roden. Further wide is O'Connor, and O'Connor with that low centre of gravity just turns back inside, and Neil Roden with a second effort. Important tackle from Sims initially. How long can they keep them out?
Oh, penalty. They're not helping themselves at all, the Scholars.
Menzies. The onslaught continues from Oldham. Coyle. This is Ash. Important contribution there in defence from Hodson. Coyle again turns it for Goulden and tries a little chip over. Tommy Goulden. It's fumbled initially by Owanafu, and he has work to do, and he is in fact trapped in his in-goal area, and they've forced a drop out. Oldham. Back-to-back sets for Tony Benson.
Tony Benson in your screen there, but Owanafu really recovered well there. He lost his foot and he slipped as the ball went over, but you can see he recovers well, and Paul O'Connor putting pressure on, not letting the winger get out, forcing the goal line dropout. How long now can the Scholars hold out? Defensively, they've been very strong. They've turned up for each other, but they've got to be even stronger now for this set of 6.
First goal line dropout of the match Just 7.5 minutes from half-time. Menzies charges it back in again.
Move! Hold! Go!
Coyle.
2!
That's Baines.
Hold! Go!
This time it's Neil Roden. O'Connor in a central position.
He had to go back then, O'Connor. All the players outside him were in front of him.
Go!
Not enough depth on this left-hand edge of Oldham's.
Neil Roden finds Janssen.
4! Move!
Inching closer. Oldham. Coyle. Forward pass though. The eyes went one way, the ball went the other. And although Robinson thought he was in, it was a forward pass from Thomas Coyle.
Thomas Coyle, he hasn't added an awful lot since he's come on. He's got out from dummy half, he's engaged with the marker, and you can see he's just looking at him all the time. He gives the ball. Is it a flat pass? He's a bit harsh to get done for that. That was a real good line, that. And he's added an awful lot of spice in defence and in attack since he's come on, Thomas Coyle.
Held! 1! Move!
The ball's come loose.
This could be a penalty.
The ball has come loose. Now let's have a look. There's a lot of hands in tonight. It does make it difficult for the referee. Greg Dolan needs to make a split decision. I think an Oldham player's ripped that out.
Heads in, come on.
Let's have a look again. Matty Ash pulls that ball out.
Sims, the wronged man there. And Russo now for Oldham.
Go!
Former Gateshead man. Now Goulden.
2! Move!
It's Paxton who puts him on the floor.
Go!
Coyle tackles in the bank for Oldham. Finds Neil Roden, and Roden has Janssen for company. Janssen is strong. Great tackle from Burke downstairs. Keeps the Scholars line intact for now. Littler, the pass had been overrun there by Onyango. Littler was looking for his winger. Onyango not in the right place, and Oldham squander another opportunity.
And you've got to be really impressed with the way that they're defending the try line. You can see that they're forcing Oldham into making mistakes because they're so solid. They're turning up for each other all the time. Everything that's been thrown at the Scholars from the Oldham attack has been really counteracted, and defensively the Scholars have looked so strong.
Plenty for Benson to think about. Thorman.
And you said, Ben, before that this Oldham Scholars side have conceded 767 points. That is absolutely amazing. If they turned up to play and defend like they have done tonight every week, there's no way, because they look like one of the better sides in this competition, in this Championship 1.
Only scored 29 tries in 14 rounds before today, London Scholars, but conceded 133.
No, it isn't.
They're in possession though. 3 tackles gone.
Well, it's not bad when you can go to Oldham, who are placed third in the competition, who are looking for promotion, and they've only scored 1 try against them. That's a good effort, that, isn't it, from this Oldham Scholars side?
Of course, leading this game, Jermaine Coleman's side.
40!
Here's Paul O'Connor, feet first. Just traps the ball, brings in Onyango. Sideways run, evades the first tackler, but the reinforcements are there. In the shape of Hodgson.
Go!
Roden finds Russo.
There's always a danger whenever you've beat a team previously in your season that you turn up and not respect your opponents. Putting 70 past London Scholars earlier on in the season may have affected Oldham's mental, not preparation, but mental attitude to this game. Neil Roden, whenever he takes the team on, whenever he takes this defensive line on, he's making defenders make decisions. You just can't afford to throw the ball away like that.
Goulden it was who couldn't hold on. And now Paxton launches the counter for the Scholars. Inside the last 3 minutes of the first half, and the Scholars in a great position, helped now by another penalty.
Tackle's complete straight away, and him over. No.
Second effort in there.
The second effort trying to slow down that play ball. What would you do here? Would you go for goal, or would you play the set? Well,
I'd go for goal.
That is the decision made by Jermaine Coleman and the London Scholars. Have that 2-point lead at the moment, looking to double that via the boot this time of Thorman. There is Jermaine Coleman, former Hunslet and York player.
He'll be delighted with this opening start for the London Scholars side. They've respected possession. They've asked a couple of questions. And won a few. Over on this right-hand side, could have had a few. If he'd have managed to stay on the island, could have had 2 tries.
Thorman, a picture of concentration. Looking to give the Scholars a 4-point lead as we approach half-time. He's missed it though.
No goal. 20 dropout, guys.
Do have possession, of course, from this 20-metre dropout.
Dave. Hold on a second.
Oldham will just be praying for half-time. They need to regather, look at what they're doing right, which isn't very much. Look at what they're doing wrong and fix that up for the second half.
Here is Fountain.
Hold. 1. Move.
It was
Hold. Go.
Robinson who got the shoulder in.
2. Move.
Now Spencer,
Go.
the substitute hooker for the Scholars.
3.
Moves into that dummy half position again.
Hold.
Graham Spencer.
Go.
60 seconds or so to go. Prison.
4. Move. Hold.
On his back there
Go.
by Robinson. Now Isles.
Okay.
Crossfield kick.
Play on.
Nashville Grubber. And there is Greenwood to bring it back.
Now they've got just over 30 seconds. They've got to really defend. And Barry talked about that last time these two sides met, and it was 78 points to 10. Well, since then, Oldham have lost Dave Allen, James Coyle, Danny Halliwell, Andy Ballard and Rob Roberts. 5 real key players. And this Scholars side have turned up tonight, and they're giving it their all.
Here is Coyle. Important tackle from Thomas. Gets up to play the ball quickly there, Coyle.
I think that pink hair's made him really fiery tonight, Ben.
They're looking for something before half-time in the shape of Russo. There is the hooter though. Play continues for now, and there could be a sting in the tail as far as Oldham are concerned. Onyango has it. He's put to ground. That's the last action of this first half. And are we in line for a huge shock at Boundary Park? It was 13 tries to 2, 78-10 at New River Stadium earlier this year. At half-time, the Scholars incredibly lead Oldham, who are chasing promotion to the Cooperative Championship, by 6 points to 4.
Well, who would have thought it? London Scholars comprehensively written off before this game, and they certainly have defied all the experts, all the sceptics with that first half performance, which sees them ahead against their illustrious opponents in Cooperative Championship 1.